Let's get real about why so many women are finding themselves asking, where are the men who actually pursue? Where are the men who step up, take initiative, and show real effort? Because the truth is, a shift has happened. The way men used to pursue women with confidence, consistency, and clarity is just not as common anymore. But why? What's really going on? First, we have to acknowledge that the dating landscape has changed. Social media, dating apps, and instant gratification have created a culture where people don't feel the need to put in as much effort. A man can scroll through his phone and have endless options at his fingertips. This has made true pursuit less intentional. Instead of working to win a woman's heart, many men have adopted a mindset of convenience. If it takes too much effort, they rather move on to the next option. This doesn't mean good men don't exist, but it does mean that real effort has become less common. Modern dating has shifted dramatically. And one of the biggest reasons men aren't pursuing women like they used to is the rise of convenience culture. Everything is fast, easy, and available at the touch of a button. Whether it's food delivery, instant entertainment, or even relationships, the idea of working hard for something has become less appealing. Dating apps and social media have made it possible for people to connect with multiple options at once, reducing the need for intentional effort. Instead of taking the time to court and truly invest in one person, many men now engage in surface-level interactions that require little commitment. The ease of online dating has also created a mindset where effort is no longer necessary. In the past, a man had to make a real effort to get to know a woman. He had to approach her, strike up a meaningful conversation, and prove himself through action. Now, all he has to do is send a quick message or swipe right. If one woman doesn't respond, there are plenty more waiting. This abundance of options has caused many men to put in minimal effort because they don't feel the need to work for something that feels replaceable. Another factor contributing to this shift is the way social media has influenced attention spans and expectations. Many men have become used to instant gratification. If something doesn't happen quickly, they lose interest. Real pursuit takes patience, consistency, and dedication. But in today's world, where everything moves at a fast pace, many men are unwilling to go through the process. They expect immediate results, and when they don't get them, they move on to the next opportunity. This culture of convenience has also changed how men view commitment. In previous generations, pursuing a woman was seen as an exciting challenge, something that brought meaning and purpose. Now, many men feel like they don't have to pursue at all. With so many distractions and casual options available, the motivation to truly chase and invest in one woman has diminished. Instead of making an effort, they fall into patterns of inconsistent communication, ghosting, or keeping things casual rather than stepping up with clarity and confidence. Because of this shift, many women find themselves wondering why men aren't showing up with the same energy and pursuit that previous generations experienced. The reality is that true pursuit still exists, but it's becoming less common because modern dating has made it easier for men to avoid putting in the work. Instead of feeling the need to pursue, many have settled into a mindset where relationships should come easily or not at all. This has led to a dating culture where real effort is rare and meaningful connections are harder to find. Fear of rejection is one of the biggest reasons men are not pursuing women like they used to. In the past, rejection was seen as a normal part of life, something that built character and resilience. Men were expected to take chances, approach women, and accept that not every interaction would go their way. However, in today's world, rejection has taken on a much deeper and more personal meaning for many men. Instead of seeing it as just a part of dating, many men now associate rejection with their self-worth, leading them to avoid pursuing women altogether. Social media and modern dating culture have amplified this fear. In the digital age, rejection is not just a private moment between two people. It can be shared, laughed at, and even go viral. Men are more hesitant to put themselves in a position where they could be publicly embarrassed. The fear of approaching a woman only to be turned down in front of a crowd or even ridiculed online makes many men choose not to pursue at all. The risk feels too high, and rather than face rejection, they settle for passive interactions, hoping the woman will make the first move. Another reason this fear has grown is the way rejection is sometimes delivered. Many men have experienced harsh or dismissive rejection that leave them feeling humiliated. It's one thing to be told, "I'm not interested," but it's another to be laughed at, insulted, or ignored completely. After experiencing a few of these painful moments, some men decide it's not worth it to keep trying. They start believing that women don't want to be approached or that they will always be met with negativity, so they avoid making a move altogether. This fear is also reinforced by past experiences. A man who has been hurt before, whether in relationships or through repeated rejection, may develop a protective mindset. Instead of taking risks and putting himself out there, he convinces himself that avoiding pursuit is the safer option. This creates a cycle where the fear of rejection keeps him from trying, and his lack of effort leads to fewer connections, reinforcing his belief that dating is difficult or not worth it. Another contributing factor is the changing dynamics of gender roles. Many men are unsure if their advances will be welcomed or seen as intrusive. The fear of being labeled as disrespectful or inappropriate adds another layer of hesitation. Some men worry that even if they pursue with good intentions, it might be misunderstood, leading to an even greater fear of rejection. As a result, many choose to stay on the sidelines, waiting for clear signs of interest before making a move, or avoiding pursuit altogether to protect themselves from potential embarrassment or disappointment. Another major reason men aren't pursuing women like they used to is the rise of gender role confusion. In previous generations, the expectations were clear: men were expected to lead in courtship, while women were expected to be receptive to their efforts. Today, the lines have become blurred, leaving many men uncertain about their role in the dating process. Some men feel that pursuing a woman in a traditional way may come across as too aggressive or outdated, leading them to hesitate or avoid making a move altogether. The conversation around equality and independence has also contributed to this shift. While it is a positive thing that women have more autonomy and choice in relationships, some men have misinterpreted this to mean that pursuit is no longer necessary or even welcome. They wonder if showing interest too strongly might make them seem controlling or overbearing. This hesitation can make them hold back, waiting for the woman to take the lead instead of confidently pursuing her. Over time, this has led to a dating culture where many men have stepped away from pursuit, assuming it is no longer their responsibility. Another layer to this issue is the mixed messages men often receive. Some women express frustration that men are not stepping up and taking initiative, while others criticize traditional pursuit as outdated or unnecessary. This inconsistency leaves many men confused about what women truly want. A man may have been told that women appreciate chivalry, but then experiences a situation where his efforts are dismissed or ignored. Over time, this can create doubt, making him reluctant to take action in fear of being seen as doing too much or not enough. Social media and dating apps have also contributed to this shift by creating an environment where passive engagement is the norm. In the past, if a man was interested in a woman, he had to approach her in person and make an effort. Now, he can simply like a post, send a message, or swipe on an app. This passive form of interaction has replaced traditional pursuit, making it easier for men to avoid taking risks. Many men now wait for the woman to initiate, believing that if she's interested, she'll make it clear. This has led to a lack of genuine effort and a dynamic where both sides are waiting for the other to take the lead. With all of these factors at play, many men feel uncertain about their role in dating. They don't want to come across as pushy, They don't want to be rejected, and they don't want to invest effort into someone who may not appreciate it. This hesitation creates a cycle where fewer men pursue, and as a result, fewer women experience the kind of intentional, meaningful pursuit that once defined romantic relationships. Another key reason men aren't pursuing women like they used to is the abundance of options in today's dating landscape. With the rise of dating apps and social media, men now have access to an endless supply of potential matches at their fingertips. This has created a culture of convenience where many men no longer feel the need to actively pursue one woman because they believe there will always be someone else just a swipe away. Instead of putting in effort to win over a particular woman, some men adopt a more passive approach, waiting to see who comes to them rather than actively going after what they want. This abundance of choices has also led to a decrease in commitment. When a man feels like he has unlimited options, he may struggle to invest in one person. He might think, why should I chase one woman when there are so many others out there? This mindset can make men hesitant to pursue women in a meaningful way because they fear they might be missing out on something better. It has also led to a rise in situationships where men enjoy casual connections without making an effort to deepen the relationship, since they know they can easily find another option if things don't work out. Another factor at play is the impact of social media validation. Many men now receive attention from women through likes, comments, and messages online, which can give them a false sense of fulfillment. They may feel as though they don't need to pursue a woman in real life because they're already receiving attention virtually. The digital validation they get from multiple women can make them less motivated to put in real-world effort. Instead of going out and meeting women in person, some men rely on their online presence to do the work for them. This shift in behavior has made genuine pursuit less common as men become accustomed to passive forms of engagement rather than taking real action. The overwhelming number of choices can create indecisiveness. When a man is constantly exposed to new potential partners, he may struggle to focus on one woman long enough to pursue her properly. He might hesitate to commit or make an effort because he fears making the wrong choice. This paralysis by analysis keeps him in a cycle of browsing, swiping, and chatting without ever truly pursuing someone with intention. Instead of stepping up and making a real effort, he keeps looking for the next best thing, convinced that something better might be just around the corner. This abundance of options has fundamentally changed the way men approach dating. Rather than feeling the urgency to pursue a woman and win her over, many men have adopted a more passive approach, waiting for something easy and effortless rather than stepping up and taking intentional action. Another major reason men aren't pursuing women like they used to is the fear of rejection. While rejection has always been a part of dating, modern culture has amplified its impact. Social media, dating apps, and instant communication have made it easier than ever for rejection to feel public and humiliating. A man who puts himself out there and gets turned down may not just feel personal disappointment, may also feel embarrassed if the rejection is shared or discussed online. This added layer of exposure makes many men hesitant to take the risk of actively pursuing a woman, fearing that one bad experience could damage their confidence or reputation. Beyond that, rejection today often comes with a harsher tone. In the past, a woman might have turned down a man with kindness or subtlety, allowing him to walk away with his dignity intact. Now, some rejections can be blunt, dismissive, or even mocking. Some men have experienced situations where their approach is not just declined, but laughed at, ridiculed, or screenshotted and shared as a joke. This kind of rejection leaves a lasting impact, making men more reluctant to approach women in the future. Over time, this creates a culture where men become passive, waiting for women to make the first move instead of risking rejection themselves. Another factor is the emotional toll repeated rejection takes on a man's confidence. A man who approaches women consistently but keeps getting turned down may start to question his own worth. He might begin to believe that he's not attractive enough, successful enough, or interesting enough. This self-doubt can make him withdraw from the dating scene altogether or resort to safer, less effortful interactions. Instead of pursuing women directly, he might opt for indirect methods like engaging on social media, waiting for signs of interest before making a move, or avoiding pursuit altogether. The changing social dynamics between men and women have also contributed to this shift. With the rise of movements that encourage women to be more assertive in relationships, some men now believe that it's no longer their role to pursue. They might think, if she's interested, she'll let me know. And rather than risk rejection, they wait for the woman to make the first move. This shift in mindset has led to fewer men actively pursuing, as they assume that if a woman truly wants them, she will take action. Rejection is a natural part of dating, but the way it is handled today has made many men hesitant to pursue. Instead of seeing rejection as a normal and expected part of relationships, they now view it as a potential source of embarrassment, ridicule, or self-doubt. As a result, many men choose to avoid pursuit altogether, hoping to bypass the pain of rejection by waiting for women to take the lead. Another reason men aren't pursuing women like they used to is the rise of instant gratification. In the past, men had to work hard to court a woman, putting in effort, time, and patience to win her over. But today, with social media, dating apps, and an abundance of options, the dynamic has shifted. A man no longer has to put himself out there and actively pursue one woman when he can get attention, validation, and even intimacy with minimal effort. Instead of pursuing a real connection, many men settle for the quick dopamine hit they get from a like, a comment, or a casual conversation that doesn't require real commitment. Dating apps have also played a significant role in this change. With a simple swipe, men can browse through endless profiles, creating a sense that there's always someone else available. This mentality makes it harder for men to feel motivated to pursue just one woman seriously. Instead of investing time in truly getting to know someone, they may adopt a why chase one when there are so many mindset. This leads to men being less willing to put in the effort needed to court a woman in the traditional way, as they believe they can always find another option with less work. Beyond that, social media has created an illusion of access. A man can follow a woman, like her pictures, comment on her posts, and feel like he's engaged with her without actually making a move. He may assume that if she's interested, she'll respond in a way that makes it easy for him. This passive approach means fewer men are taking direct action in pursuit, as they rely on digital interactions to gauge interest rather than stepping up with confidence and intent. Another layer to this is the growing trend of casual relationships and situations. Many men have realized they can experience companionship, intimacy, and even emotional support without committing. When a man knows he can have the benefits of a relationship without having to pursue, invest, or truly court a woman, he's less likely to put in the effort. The normalization of casual encounters has led some men to expect the same level of connection with little to no pursuit. This shift has also affected how men view relationships. In a world where everything is fast-paced and easily accessible, many men have become accustomed to instant gratification. They may feel that if something isn't easy, it's not worth pursuing. If they sense any level of challenge, instead of stepping up, they may simply move on to something or somewhat that feels more effortless. This has resulted in fewer men being willing to truly chase, pursue, and invest in the kind of relationships that require patience, effort, and intention. Another reason men aren't pursuing women like they used to is the fear of rejection. In the past, men understood that rejection was a natural part of dating, and pursuing a woman required courage, persistence, and resilience. However, in today's world, rejection feels more public and more permanent. With social media, a man's failed attempt at pursuing a woman can be exposed to a larger audience, making the fear of embarrassment much stronger. Screenshots of messages, viral posts about bad dating experiences, and online discussions about what men are doing wrong have made some men hesitant to even try. Beyond public scrutiny, many men have also experienced repeated rejection, leading them to believe that the pursuit isn't worth the effort. In the past, when a man approached a woman and she declined, it was often seen as a simple mismatch rather than a personal failure. But today, constant exposure to dating rejection, whether through unanswered messages on apps, ignored DMs, or being ghosted, can create a sense of discouragement. When a man feels that no matter what he does, he will be met with rejection or indifference, he may choose to withdraw rather than keep trying. Changing social norms have made many men unsure about when and how to pursue. While confidence and persistence were once admired, some men now worry that approaching a woman will be perceived as aggressive, pushy, or inappropriate. The lines between being bold and being overbearing have become blurry, and instead of risking misinterpretation, some men decide it's better to avoid pursuing altogether. They fear that an attempt to show interest may be met with skepticism or resistance, making them second-guess themselves before they even make a move. Men have also been conditioned to believe that women should pursue them instead. With modern dating advice emphasizing that women should know their worth and not settle, many men feel that if a woman is interested, she will make it clear or take the initiative. While this shift in dynamics can be empowering for women, it has also left some men confused about their role in the pursuit. If they believe that the responsibility to initiate has shifted, they may take a passive approach, waiting for women to show interest first rather than actively pursuing. All of these factors contribute to why some men are hesitant to pursue relationships with the same intensity and commitment as before. The combination of social pressure, fear of rejection, changing expectations, and an abundance of dating options has made many men more passive in their approach. Instead of taking risks and pursuing a woman with confidence, they may prefer to avoid the potential disappointment altogether. Another major reason men aren't pursuing women like they used to is the overwhelming number of options available to them in today's dating world. With dating apps, social media, and online connections, men have access to an almost endless pool of potential partners. In the past, a man's dating options were largely limited to his immediate social circle, workplace, or local community. This meant that when he was interested in someone, he had to be intentional about pursuing her because opportunities were fewer. Today, with a simple swipe or a message, a man can instantly connect with dozens of women, making each individual connection feel less significant. This abundance of options has created a paradox where having too many choices makes it harder for men to commit to pursuing just one woman. When a man believes there's always someone new he can meet, he may hesitate to invest his time and energy into just one person. Instead of focusing on building something meaningful, he may adopt a mindset that the perfect woman is just around the corner, leading him to pursue casually rather than with real effort. This can result in a lack of genuine pursuit because men are distracted by the idea of what else is out there. The ease of access to new women has led to shorter attention spans when it comes to dating. If a woman doesn't respond immediately, show interest quickly, or meet his expectations right away, a man can simply move on to the next person without much emotional investment. This reduces the motivation to pursue someone in a meaningful way because in his mind, there's always another opportunity waiting. In the past, men had to work harder to get to know a woman, impress her, and build a connection. But now, many feel they don't have to put in as much effort because they can quickly find someone new. Social media has also played a role in shifting the way men view relationships. With constant exposure to images of attractive women, curated lifestyles, and highlight reels of other people's dating experiences, many men develop unrealistic expectations of what a partner should be like. This creates a sense of dissatisfaction with reality, making some men feel like they should hold out for something better rather than invest in what's right in front of them. When men are bombarded with images of beauty, success, and idealized relationships, it can make real-world connections feel less exciting in comparison, leading to less motivation to pursue women in an intentional way. The combination of endless options, shorter attention spans, and unrealistic expectations has created a dating culture where men no longer feel the urgency or necessity to pursue women like they once did. Instead of seeing dating as a process of building something meaningful with effort and commitment, many now see it as a game of exploration where they can keep looking for the next best thing. Another reason men aren't pursuing women like they used to is the shift in traditional gender roles and expectations in dating. For generations, men were expected to be the initiators, the ones who pursued, planned, and led in relationships. However, in today's world, societal norms around dating have evolved, and many women have become more independent, assertive, and proactive in relationships. While this is a positive shift in many ways, it has also led to some men stepping back from the traditional role of the pursuer because they feel uncertain about where they stand or what is expected of them. With the rise of equality in relationships, many men are now hesitant to take the lead because they fear being perceived as too aggressive, overbearing, or even outdated in their approach. Some worry that pursuing a woman too strongly might be seen as disrespectful, while others have experienced situations where their efforts were dismissed or criticized. This uncertainty makes some men reluctant to put themselves out there, leading to less active pursuit. Instead, they may take a more passive approach, waiting for the woman to show strong interest first, or expecting her to make the first move. As more women focus on their careers, personal goals, and independence, some men feel like their role in dating has diminished. In the past, men were often seen as providers and protectors, and this gave them a clear purpose in relationships. But now, with many women being financially independent and self-sufficient, some men feel like they have less to offer in the traditional sense. If a man believes that he is no longer needed in the same way, he may feel less motivated to pursue a woman with the same intensity that men did in the past. Social changes have also led to a culture where some men prefer to avoid rejection altogether. In previous generations, rejection was a natural part of the dating process, and men were expected to handle it as part of pursuing a woman. But now, with online dating and social media, men have more opportunities to connect with women without facing direct rejection. If they sense any hesitation or resistance from a woman, they can easily move on without taking any emotional risks. This makes them less likely to pursue a woman with real effort because they don't feel the need to put themselves in vulnerable situations when there are other easier options available. The combination of shifting gender roles, fear of misinterpretation, and a desire to avoid rejection has created a dating landscape where fewer men are willing to actively pursue women. Instead of taking the lead, many have adopted a passive approach, waiting for the woman to take charge or simply moving on if things don't flow effortlessly. Another major reason men aren't pursuing women like they used to is the overwhelming presence of social media and dating apps, which have completely changed the way people interact and form relationships. In the past, men had to approach women in person, engage in meaningful conversations, and put in real effort to win their interest. Today, with the swipe of a finger, men have access to an endless pool of potential partners, which has significantly lowered their motivation to actively pursue any one woman with real intention. With so many options readily available, many men have adopted a quantity over quality mindset. Instead of investing time and energy into genuinely getting to know one woman, they engage in surface level interactions with multiple women at once. This creates a culture where they don't feel the need to put in effort because if one situation doesn't work out, they believe another opportunity is just a message away. This abundance of choice leads to indecisiveness and a reluctance to commit, making men far less likely to pursue with the same determination they once had. Social media has also contributed to unrealistic expectations in dating. Men are constantly exposed to images of women who fit a particular beauty standard, leading some to develop a distorted perception of what they want in a partner. This can make them hesitant to pursue real-life connections because they are subconsciously comparing everyday women to the highlight reels they see online. On the other hand, some men feel intimidated by the seemingly perfect lifestyles that women portray on social media. If a man feels like he can't compete with the image a woman presents online, whether it's her beauty, career success, or social status, he may avoid pursuing her altogether out of fear of rejection or inadequacy. Another issue with modern technology is the way it has made communication less personal. Instead of meaningful face-to-face interactions, much of today's dating is built on texting, DMs, and brief exchanges. This lack of real emotional connection makes it easier for men to disengage or lose interest quickly. If they don't feel a strong connection right away, they are more likely to move on instead of putting in the effort to build something deeper. This has created a culture of impatience where many men no longer see the value in truly pursuing a woman over time. Lastly, social media has reinforced a culture of validation seeking where both men and women are more focused on likes, comments, and attention than genuine romantic connections. Many men have realized that some women enjoy the attention of pursuit but are not actually interested in forming real relationships. Because of this, some men have stopped trying altogether, choosing instead to focus on their own lives rather than chasing after women who may not be serious about commitment. But here's the thing, men will pursue when they see value, when they feel inspired, and when they know they're dealing with a woman who truly aligns with them. The right man doesn't need to be convinced to step up. He wants to. The key is not chasing, not forcing, but positioning yourself in a way that attracts a man who wants to pursue you. Because men do still pursue, but only when they see something worth pursuing.